this moment, when your name was announced, the year you were honored, what was the one thing that you remember about the awards that night at that moment?
For me, it was that as soon as my name was announced, the principal of my secondary school turned to me and was like, "What?" Because he had already given me condolences that I hadn't won, because he was convinced that I hadn't won. So then when I was walking up, I just remember looking out from the stage at the table that we were sitting on, and the principal of my school was just staring up in disbelief, and then his wife kind of taps him on the wrist because she was hiding in the back, and then he runs up, he's like, "Oh yeah," and then he's taking pictures.
For me, it was kind of scary walking up. I hadn't registered yet, and I couldn't really hear anything. And then when I walked up and kind of fumbled my speech, and then was taking the pictures, I was like, "Oh, I've won this. This is going to be a roller coaster ride." And my parents were crying, and then I cried, and I was like, "Oh no, no one for mascara." But no, it was a shell shock, and it was kind of hard to believe. I didn't really believe it until the next day. It was weird.
I think it was a bit of a shock for me as well. I think my mum, I didn't hear it straight away when they said it, and I think my mum was like, "Megan, that's you." Go on, go.
I was the very same. I remember I was sitting there and they announced the winner, and my mother just pushed me out of the chair. I was sitting there and she was like, "Go, it's you!" And I just didn't believe it. But as you say, it's just going up and not knowing, you're still going, "It's not me, it's not me." I think it still hasn't sunk in, really. What an honour and a privilege it is, to actually be crowned the winner, so.
That walk from your chair.
So long.
From the minute it's announced, that walk from your chair to the stage, it's only a few steps away, but it feels like the longest walk there. And that few moments you're standing on stage waiting for the second person to go up is the longest moment of your life. But as soon as Michael came up on stage, I was just so relaxed because it was two of us there. And from then on, it's just been a roller coaster.
And you'll never feel pain in your cheeks from all the smiles.
No,
How did the award impact you, and what kind of ways did the whole thing impact you afterward, and what kind of talk a little bit about that?
For me, literally from the moment the Primerica Awards were held here, I feel like my life has just started. I thought I'd done quite a bit and started my life for them, but since the Primerica Awards, I've met friends in America that I'm still in good contact with, that I will travel to see them and they'll come see me. I've pushed myself further to travel further and join bigger projects and meet more people, and I've gained confidence and independence. I've grown up so much more in the year that I didn't know one person could achieve in a year. And what I've done in a year, I'm proud of, whereas before I wouldn't have acknowledged anything that I've done. So I feel like in the last year I've grown a bit more as myself and kind of given myself a bit more credit than I ever did before.
I definitely think the awards, they kind of boosted my confidence, but as Sophie said, they kind of gave me a new sense of independence. When you get an award like that, and then you've got interviews, and you've got to do a spontaneous radio interview next morning, and go to Ireland and do the launch, and it's all kind of crazy. And then to be studying journalism, I always kind of had an interest in print journalism, but then it kind of introduced me to the other forms, so broadcast journalism and radio journalism, and I just had to take a picture of the cameras a minute ago, because there is nothing cooler to show your lecturer than having an interview on camera. They go crazy for it.
I think confidence-wise, it really did help. Before, I was the kind of person that wouldn't say anything in class. I'd be sitting there, I'd know all the answers, but wouldn't say anything. And I just think the interviews and that even talking to other honorees and just learning that, communication skill, and it helps in your work then too, the work that you're doing. And I've gone on out to do early years in childhood studies in UCC, and I'm after getting a scholarship from them. And I believe it's because of the award, it played a major role in me actually obtaining the scholarship, because they did say that that's a fair feat to have achieved. And it's great, it helps not only you, but it spurs you on to continue your work then as well.
Yeah, similar for me as well. I think confidence was a big thing, confidence in myself, but also kind of confidence to kind of go and achieve my goals. I've always been kind of interested in social innovation, but this kind of spurred me on to kind of say, yeah, this is actually something I can pursue. And even meeting everyone over in America, they have done such incredible things, so we're kind of getting ideas from them as well, and seeing, there's so much we can do, we're the kind of future, so we can do that.
Yeah, like for me, it's just been non-stop, go, 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 go. And I'm the same as Michael in the sense where I've always been interested in media, but when, you actually get to do the radio and you get to do the television, you don't realise how much work goes into it, especially even they're just interviewing you. And then same as Dana, I was awarded a scholarship, and I solely believe it's because of Power America. They kind of helped my story, my voice get to a larger audience, which is something I never believed would happen unless for winning that award. So it's just given me more confidence and a bigger platform that I never wish.
Another thing as well was to see the €1,000 cash prize be used in your charity. So the cash prize came through, and then I travelled to Romania again in June, and I saw money from that go towards buying inflatable toys for the clients to do summer activities, but then also it paid for the heating oil of one of our care homes for the whole winter. So that was incredible to see the impact that our prize is also having on other people.
Yeah.
So.
What do you remember about the U.S. trip? What did you take away from it? What kind of things?
Friends,
Great memories.
Yeah.
It's nice to kind of go internationally and see how different people do volunteering differently, and as getting different ideas and kind of learning how you can branch yourself and how you can kind of phase yourself, just make yourself the best you can with volunteering and help your charities. And I just got so many ideas and friends as well that I talk to on a regular basis, so it's great that we have that connection with people in a different country. It's brilliant.
I was only saying a while ago, it was a whirlwind, but it's so vivid. You remember everything, even though you were kept on your feet all the time, doing loads of things. You remember every second of it. And I think as well, the friendship we've made, I'm constantly in contact with people that I met, and it's just great that we met loads of like-minded people. I think everyone was on the same wavelength, that we just automatically clicked, I think. And that was great to just have the same mindset and everything. It was very good.
And it's great because there's so many American students at the awards over there. It gives you so much opportunity to speak to all of them, and each of them have their own story and their own different way they've affected and worked in the community. So it gives us such an opportunity to take ideas and bring them back to Ireland. Because since there's only 20 of us here, so there's 20 ideas. If you go to America,
yeah, well, I will always say this.
Through the connections that I made with the Washington trip, one of the members of the Potential Spirit and Community Awards from Washington DC, he actually donated 100 cuddly toys to my charity in Romania. Plus, we had another girl has pledged to donate 100 hand-knitted hats by herself. So it's the connections. It's you get to meet a network of people that all stay in contact. Our Prudential page is constantly going. We have one girl from Wyoming actually coming to visit us in summer. So.
And what about, think about volunteering and just volunteering itself and how that's impacted you and what volunteering has done for you. And as you're thinking about it, think about it in a way that you would talk to other kids about. You gotta volunteer because.
for me, it was a personal choice. But when I lost my sister to suicide, that was the first time, and I joined the Cycle Against Suicide charity just to kind of suss it out and see what the whole thing was about. And from that day, it made me feel a bit more positive, and I kind of began to understand depression and mental illnesses. So I went again and again, and then it turned into I wanted to go, and now I go to every event and I volunteer at loads of charities. So it's kind of it does as much for me as raising awareness and volunteering with other people as it does for the community. So my one bit of advice to other people would be pick an area in your community that you're passionate about and that you love and that you can help, and choose that. It doesn't matter how big it is. It's once you're happy and once you're making an impact in the community, that's works for you.
I completely agree. I would say there's absolutely no better feeling than having a positive impact on other people and being the cause of good change and basically bettering other people's lives. And in bettering other people's lives, you better your own life. You get opportunities like all of us have gotten through the awards, but also through volunteering itself. And I think that in helping other people, you're actually helping yourself.
Yeah.
It's a very good point. I found that I always thought, oh, I'm helping, you know, and I'm making a little difference. But what you get back from it is so much more than you put in.
Yeah.
Like, before I started working with Kaylee, I didn't have a clue what I was going to do with my life. But now I know I'm doing early years, I want to do resource teaching, and I wouldn't have known that, you know, without helping her out. So you do get far more back than when you put
Definitely
in, I think.
builds you as a person as well.
Definitely, yeah.
Now, obviously, it looks like some camaraderie has been developed between the honorees. Talk a little bit about that, and just amongst everybody in Ireland.
Well, last year after the awards, we all kind of just hung out till like all hours in the morning and decided that we were all going to be this group called the Pram Fam, which we made a Facebook group. And so last night before coming to Donegal, I was hanging out with a girl called Laura Beston, who's from Claremorrison, Mayo. She was part of the 20 honorees. But then aside from that, I kind of have always said that, like, I don't know, Sophie and myself have created such like a close bond. And so she's planning to come and visit me in my university, and we talk all the time. And no, I think I don't know, maybe you disagree.
Staying very quiet.
No, I agree. It's amazing how you just spend just one night with these students, people you've never met in your entire life, and you stay in such good contact. And I think it's just because we all share the same passion. Like, we all understand how each other like enjoys volunteering in the community, and we all share the same passion, and we enjoy listening to each other's stories. So I think it's just we have that in common. We stay in contact, and afterwards we love seeing how everyone's succeeding and moving on to their next project and supporting each other. So I think that's the greatest way of keeping in contact, that we're all supporting each other.
It's just a massive family, and there's constant support. Like, if you ever feel like you need help with a project, people will, if there's a page that you want to share, we're not going to do it. It's just constant support and help, because we all want to better for our own charities, and it's great that we have this family, you know, that we're just young, and the fact that we're helping, you know, and being so mature about it, it's a great sense of community, which is what the awards are all about.
It's great to have a community that thinks like you, and like there is that kind of like-mindedness that
Same
comes back to.
Like,
yeah.
Tell me, did any of the current students have questions for you guys? What advice did you guys give out tonight as some of the alumni?
Yeah, so like I had a good few questions after they'd won. So Cian came up to me, and he basically like asked me the media side of it, like what was involved and stuff, and I just told him about how like you almost get training your confidence in front of a camera, in front of like a microphone, or even just to be able to write something that would be printed in a newspaper. Your confidence will increase, and it really does better your life. Like confidence-wise, even if you don't have interest in media or journalism, then you will gain great experience through it anyway. But then there's a lot of questions about what's happening in Washington, and I haven't told them any details of the itinerary. So.
Just wait for your itinerary.
But like with chit-chatting with them, like you could tell that they were nervous, and like the best advice and the only advice I could give to them is just to be yourself, because, you know, if you just come across natural and just be yourself, that's how you're going to get your message across. Just go with the flow, and you know, you are going to get nervous, but sometimes nerves kind of help, because you're just being yourself. But enjoy every second of it, take loads of photos, and just enjoy the ride, because it's absolutely amazing.
The whole experience goes so fast, so we just kind of take it all in
Yeah.
and try and enjoy
You
it.
do remember it though, I
Yeah,
think.
especially now when we're all together.
Exactly.
It's bringing back memories.
And tell me, as far like all of you have done media interviews at this point, how important were they to your projects, and how they impacted your production or exposure or followers or supporters? Like, tell me what the media meant to what your projects were about.
Well, for me, like my project was a lot of public speaking, and when I wrote the book, I had to do like loads of TV interviews and radio, and with the awards, it gave me the confidence, because I've suffered from really bad anxiety, so it gave me the confidence in my charity that I was able to do it. And it's just the platform that I've gotten from Paramerica. They're always constantly sharing stuff that I've been doing with my charity, so they're giving me a huge platform, and I've been able to achieve so much and go to stadiums and talk, and it's all because of Paramerica that they've given me this confidence that I never really had. So it's brilliant. It's great.
Yeah, so for first of all for the Aurelia Trust, it was like an unknown charity, and then immediately it's in like national newspapers and mentioned on national TV and live, and so it really did raise a lot of questions in our town, like how do we help out with this charity, we had like I only found out like last week we've had a record number of people sign up to volunteer to go to Romania this year, and that like never happens. Like you'd be struggling to find 20, and I think we had like enough to make 2 full groups, so 2 full groups of 20. And then part of my project was like youth journalism. The media aspects of Promerica gave me huge experience that like I could never thank anyone enough for that. It to the point where even my lecturer said that like they had Googled me, and then they had seen so much about Promerica and so much about myself and interviews that I'd done and stuff, and they definitely attribute it to like the grades or the experience that I'm getting in class, and definitely has given me good head start.
I think adding to what you said, like when our friends at home see the stuff that we've shared, like I think teenagers and children and every age group are finally waking up to see that volunteering is a good thing. It's not this kind of like, a lot of people have the stigma that it's kind of sucking up or it's not cool, but to be honest, it's the coolest thing I have ever done. I do think that people are kind of waking up and realising that you are obviously you're helping people, but you benefit and you help yourself so at the same time and so much more. So I think with sharing stuff, it's getting out to people, it's reaching a charity, and it's reaching people that are at home thinking, oh God, I think I could do that as well. So
That's a very
it's
good point, because I've had loads of people come up to me and they're gone, I never knew what you were doing and the difference it made, and I'm going to get out and do something. So they're all joining for Oiga, or they're getting out and doing their own thing. So it's great, you see the kind of ripple effect.
Yeah.
You know, it's very
No, I
good.
totally agree. Especially like in Wexford where I'm from, it's kind of spread the word around. The students are kind of like, oh my God, I could do that.
Yeah.
And then they're realising that what they're doing, volunteering, that they're actually making an impact and they're doing more, and they're like, oh, come with me, and more getting involved, and they're realising that what they're doing is cool. Like it's making an impact. So
Especially with like my sister as well. When she always knew that I did volunteer work wherever, but she was just kind of like, oh, Michael's on one of his trips, Michael's on one of his adventures or something. She never really took notice, and then Promerica happened, and she started asking me like loads and loads and loads of questions, and then I moved away from home, and I was getting more questions, and then it went quiet. And then I got a text message 2 weeks ago from my mom saying that she had won like the European Community Award for her school awards, and that she had invented a board game to promote mental health throughout Europe. So so she's kind of, I think she's eyeing up America, but I don't know.
So we have, we've been involved in this back in the States for like the last 20 years, and I've been involved with it almost from the beginning. And one of the things I'm most proud of, and I just mentioned this to a reporter the other day when I was talking about this event, is that every year we hear students like yourself say the same things. You didn't want to see your name in lights. You didn't really want to do anything. You just saw a need in the community and it helped. Greg and I, that's one of the things that we're most proud of whenever we talk about this. I know Greg says it, and I staff a lot of his interviews and everything. Just to switch gears a second, I know you mentioned that you made a lot of friends from the States, but did you keep in contact with a lot of the students from like Japan and South Korea and Taiwan as well?
Yeah.
How has that impacted you guys?
So the guy that I shared a room with, Nitish, we keep we could keep contact like at least once a month, contacting each other. He'd randomly message me about something that he's doing in India and be like, oh, what do you think of this? Or one day he came to me with an idea as well, and then Rishab, who was also from India, he actually messaged me that he was on holidays in London at the time, and that he saw that I was living there at the time. But I wasn't at home, unfortunately, so I didn't get to meet up with him. But like he wanted to meet up, so yeah.
It's unfortunately I didn't keep in contact with my roommate. She's from Japan, but I got to know her really well. But one of the Indian students stop, don't make me laugh now. One of the Indian students, I've been in contact with him, and he's invited me over on numerous occasions, and he's over here. So this December I'm going travelling across, and I'm spending 2 weeks in India, so I'm staying with him when I'm there. I was like, I wouldn't have had that opportunity only for I've met him.
Yeah.
So it's great to know people around the world.
Yeah.
It's great to know like what projects they're doing. They're so far away, and they want to keep us involved. So it's great to know what they're doing, what they're bringing to the place, and it's great that we still have that contact.
Yeah, it's very good. Even our potential page, you know, Kinsey would always be at it, or Ashley, and they're
exactly.
always, you know, putting forward ideas and asking for opinions on how to go about certain things. So it's very good, as you say, there's the network and the community for, you know, putting your ideas out there and helping refine them before you kind of put them into practice. So
We spent a bit of extra time over there with them as well. Like I know that like there was a guy from Taiwan in our group, and like we've always kept in contact since, and you know, like it's kind of built a friendship and that I never would have had. Like I never would have known him otherwise.
Well, another thing that we're most proud of is that the program is growing. You guys came on board, and this is the 10th year for us to be involved here in Ireland. But Greg, if you want to talk to them more about some of the other countries that we launched on.
Sure. No, we're in Brazil now, and you know, there's a chance we're going to do another European country in a couple of years. And so it's, you know, we keep, you know, from that standpoint, we just keep expanding it. And so I guess I would ask you, I mean, you know, like for Irish teenagers and teenagers in Ireland, you talked a little bit about your peers, and that's really important to me because that's the essence of the award is hey, this is a neat thing to do. We talked about shining a light on the stories. To talk about just a little bit more about like what, you know, how you got other people to volunteer after this, and how you brought them along into volunteering.
I think I spoke about the benefits I got personally from it. Like I said, it's a great feeling, and you're kind of developing your skill set as well, and it just grows your confidence, and kind of you become a more rounded person, I think, through, you know, the work that you do. I think that's the main reason people were going, yeah, like it's great to make a difference and kind of, you know, improve yourself as well while you're at it. I think that's the main reason.
I think the whole award gives you a bigger voice as well, because like you are being heard. Like it's not something you would kind of go around telling everyone about all the time, but like the award does kind of encourage you to tell your stories about like wherever you're working at the time. So I think that does encourage other people to get involved as well.
And I think especially with Irish youth and Irish teenagers, I feel like a lot of them don't think they have a voice. I feel like a lot of them think that they can't voice their opinions because they're young. This award is the total opposite of that. It's telling young people that you are smart enough, you do have an opinion, and that you should share it. So when I go around to school saying my volunteering story, I have people come up to me and they're so shy and like, I want to do it. I'm like, there's nothing stopping you. Do it. There's a million, and it's not just to get an award. It's because you want to do it. And you know, if you have an idea that's going to help someone, you should go out and do it. Like we have massive homeless crisis, we have mental health issues in Ireland. If you have an idea that might help people and benefit that, you should run with that idea. And I think that's it's a good thing that we've gotten the platform to talk to Irish teenagers, because it's spreading the idea and giving people the idea to do good things.
With the charity that I worked for, the Aurelia Trust, we always had interest from adults. It was always something that adults wanted to support. Teenagers are going out to work with Romanians or orphans. They're from Skibbereen. The charity's based in Skibbereen. Sounds great. Teenagers didn't really care. They were like, oh, you've got a holiday in Romania. We were actually, the first year that we went out there, everyone actually accused us of only going for a cheap holiday. And then the awards happened, and then the media surrounding the awards happened, and people started to take notice. And then the teacher that actually nominated me for the award decided, because she actually came to Romania with us, she decided she wanted to do a guest talk. And it was for any year that wanted to come, and she just said that, like, if you want to have a guest talk on what the Aurelia Trust is actually about, then we'll do it. And I think we have 12 new volunteers aged between 16 and 17 that are transition years or fifth years now going to Romania in June. So.
I think just the power of one voice. If you bring one person along with you someday and they go back and say to their friend, then that friend's going to come, and now you've got 3 people. And before you know it, it's built up over time, and now you've got a group, and then it expands, and then it moves on. Before you know it, it's a much bigger deal than you originally planned and thought it would ever be. So it's just the power of one.
Yeah.
Thank you. That couldn't have been better. Thank you. That was great.